Welcome back to Relevant Resources. Will my therapist hospitalize me? So, this is a common question I hear a whole lot, but I'll be honest. So, as clinicians, whether you're seeing a licensed professional counselor, student counselor, licensed clinical social worker, psychiatrist, psychologist, whatever clinician you are seeing, we have an ethical duty to make sure that you are safe. And there are some things that we have to do so there are no legal issues for us. So, with that being said, we are trying to assess the situation. Just because you have thoughts of suicide, that does not necessarily mean that you will be hospitalized. We have to assess what is going on. Are there any active plans? It's a whole assessment process. So if you mention to your therapist that, hey, you've been having thoughts of suicide, that does not necessarily mean that, hey, you are instantly going to be hospitalized. We have to assess what is going on. Do you have a plan? What are your next steps? Things like that, okay? Why? Because we could be held liable possibly if things are not handled properly. So some people say, well, I don't want to tell my therapist. Please be honest with your therapist, okay? Please, because one, we want you safe. We don't want you hurting yourself. We don't want you committing suicide. We are here as support, and we want to make sure you're safe, and we want to put all barriers into place that we can to keep you safe and also to keep us out of jail, keep us out of prison, because depending on the situation, if things are not done properly on our end, that could be trouble for us. So that is why there are different steps to this process and that we have to assess properly so that things are done correctly. If you have any other questions, please feel free to comment down below. Thank you. And some of you may be wondering about the suicide hotline. So I used to be a crisis counselor on a suicide hotline. And again, we do the same thing. We assess. We want to know where you are, where you stand, and um, connected to resources. Are there times when people call and say, hey, I've been having these thoughts, and we are there to support them and encourage them and connect them to resources and follow up with them later on in the day? Absolutely. Are there times when I say, hey, I got an active suicide, I need to get somebody over there now? Yes. So it really just depends on the situation, but we have to assess to know how can we help you, because all help may not be the same. There may be times when I have to send an ambulance to you. There may be times when I say, hey, you're feeling okay now, based on what you told me, and I'll follow back up with you later on before my shift ends, and I'll follow back up with you tomorrow. So it just really varies, but do not be afraid to get help. And if you are in a crisis, remember you can call 988 to reach a crisis counselor. They are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And if you are looking for a therapist and other mental health resources, I have them linked in my link tree /Y Relaford. Like and subscribe for more.